I don't know who needs to hear this, but delete your Afterpay. Just delete it because you can't afford the repayments. I know it. If you can't afford to buy it outright, don't buy it at all. I was an Afterpay-aholic. I had like $3,000 owing at once until I deleted it once and for all, and I feel free. Delete your Afterpay.
By now, pay later services like Afterpay have exploded in popularity, offering what seems like a perfect deal. Take the item home today and pay for it later in 4 easy, interest-free installments. It feels like layaway's cooler, faster cousin. But behind the sleek apps and flashy checkout buttons, BNPL is becoming a financial trap for millions. Let's break it down. Afterpay, one of the most popular BNPL platforms, targets shoppers at the moment of checkout, often in fast fashion, electronics, and lifestyle stores. The idea is simple. Split your purchase into 4 equal payments over 6 weeks, with no interest, unless you miss one. And that's where things start to unravel. BNPL companies like Afterpay make money off late fees, not interest, which means the business model thrives when you fall behind. And when your budget's tight, it's easy to fall behind. The $150 pair of sneakers you didn't really need turns into a stack of overdraft charges, bank fees, and credit damage if you miss a few payments. Here's what they don't tell you. It's debt, just dressed up prettier. BNPL may sound more casual than a credit card, but it's still borrowing money you don't have. It encourages impulse spending. Studies show BNPL users are more likely to buy things they wouldn't otherwise afford. It feeds into emotional shopping habits and financial denial. Missed payments can wreck your credit. Some BNPL services report delinquencies to credit bureaus. That means a few missed payments can haunt your credit score for years. It piles on quickly. Since Afterpay doesn't do hard credit checks, many users stack multiple loans across different BNPL services without realizing how much they truly owe. A recent survey showed that more than 40% of BNPL users have missed at least one payment, and nearly 1 in 5 regrets using the service entirely. What starts as an easy checkout option can spiral into a cycle of financial stress, especially for younger consumers living paycheck to paycheck. And here's the real kicker. These services often target vulnerable demographics, college students, low-income shoppers, and people already in debt, making a bad financial situation even worse. So while Afterpay might seem like a convenient way to treat yourself, in reality, it can be a fast track to financial regret. Because in the world of buy now, pay later, what you're really buying is short-term gratification at the expense of long-term stability.
Buy now, pay later services are going to have y'all in so much trouble, you're not going to know how.
See, when I said this last year, y'all destroyed me in the comments, but he's not lying. Anytime that you are using Afterpay services, especially for a trip, is just crazy. Now, when I say that, I don't mean to shame anybody that has done it in the past, but I want to just educate you on what happened whenever you use Afterpay services or any buy now, pay later services. So whenever you use those type of services, it's going to drop your credit score slightly, and that's because of credit age. Credit age is worth about 15% of your credit score, and it's worth about 82.5 points. So anytime that you are using Afterpay services, when you get it, you're going to drop your credit score because you opened up a new loan. And then when you go ahead and pay it off, it's also going to drop your credit score because you paid off a loan, which all affects your credit age. So a little bit of an example will be, let's say if you book a $3,000 trip and you pay it off in 3 months, you're going to drop your credit score twice. Then when you're using these services, y'all missing out on so many benefits. Like right now, I'm in my 10th country, which is Canada. Last month, which was my birthday, I took me and my parents to Dubai. I actually celebrated my birthday and my mom's birthday in Dubai. But literally, all I paid was 60,000 points and $400 in taxes. I stayed in 5-star hotels. Even right now, I'm in a 4-star hotel, and it was 100% free because I used my credit cards to pay all of my bills, of course pay it off, and I get the points from it. I would 100% recommend that everyone open up a travel credit card. Most travel credit cards end up giving you anywhere between 12 to 24 months of a 0 APR. So if you want to finance a trip, I'd rather you finance a trip using a travel credit card, and a good one at that, than you using Afterpay.
As BNPL services like Afterpay become more mainstream, financial experts are raising red flags about how deeply embedded they've become in consumer habits, especially among Gen Z and millennials. These platforms are no longer just payment options. They're becoming lifestyle tools used for everything from clothes to concert tickets to groceries. And that's where the danger really lies. Afterpay markets itself as empowering consumers. But what it actually does is disconnect people from the reality of their budgets. When you're only seeing 1/4 of the price at checkout, it's easy to forget that full payment is coming, and fast. For a generation already struggling with rent hikes, student loans, and stagnant wages, Afterpay becomes a trap disguised as a solution. Plus, the payments don't wait. Every 2 weeks, the automatic withdrawals hit your account, whether or not you have the money. If your paycheck doesn't align perfectly or an emergency hits, you're hit with a late fee. Miss again? More fees. And in some cases, your account gets locked or your balance sent to collections. Now, let's talk about the emotional impact. The short-term rush of buying something now fades quickly, but the stress of debt lingers. Many users report feeling tricked or ashamed after racking up multiple BNPL debts. It's not uncommon to find someone juggling 3 or 4 open Afterpay or Klarna plans, all due at different times, creating a confusing cycle of mini payments that feel manageable but add up fast. Even worse, many people don't even consider BNPL to be debt. That's a dangerous mindset. Unlike credit cards, which carry obvious warnings and interest rates, BNPL services seem low risk and consequence-free. But in reality, they train users to live outside their means, normalize overspending, and create long-term financial instability. There's also a data privacy concern. Services like Afterpay collect a ton of personal and behavioral data. What you buy, when you buy, how often you pay late. That data is incredibly valuable and could one day be used to profile or manipulate spending behavior even further. Regulators have taken notice. In several countries, financial watchdogs are now investigating BNPL companies for predatory lending practices, especially among younger and financially insecure consumers. Some proposals include requiring credit checks, better fee transparency, and limits on how many plans a user can take on at once. But for now, the system is mostly self-regulated, and that means the responsibility falls on the consumer. If you're using Afterpay for a one-time emergency expense and you know you can pay it off, fine. But using it to fund a lifestyle? That's where it gets risky because BNPL is not a safety net. It's a debt treadmill in disguise, and once you're running on it, it can be very hard to step off.
I really appreciate this comment because I know that a lot of people think this way about the buy now, pay later services like Afterpay or Klarna. We're not thinking about them when we use them as going into debt, even though that's actually what's happening. Literal definition of debt, y'all, is just owing money. Like if you owe money in a future state, even if it's only $20 a month for the next 3 months, it's still debt. And I think that when we think of these buy now, pay later services, we're not thinking about it that way because a lot of them are like interest free, assuming you make the payments on time. And, you know, like I think a lot of us, when we think of debt, we think of mortgage, car loan, personal loan, credit cards, things like that. We're not thinking of these buy now, pay later services as debt, even though that they are. The women in my community, what tends to happen is because of this mindset that we have around them of, oh, it's not a big deal. It's only $20 a month. It's only for 3 months. When we have that mindset, doing this one time turns into 5 times and then 10 times. And then before you know it, it's completely spiraled and you're going into a month owing Afterpay or Klarna $400 or $500 a month, like the equivalent of a car payment because you've done this so many times because, oh, it's only $20, but it's almost like a death by 1,000 cuts type of situation. And so that's why it's like, it's so important that you be really, really careful with these buy now, pay later services, especially if you're someone who struggles with impulse shopping, overspending, if you're a compulsive shopper. I understand that like for some situations, it does make sense. Like if you're buying a larger ticket item, that's an absolute necessity and must have. When we're talking about like what I did that video in, right? Like an $80 pair of shoes, you don't need to be breaking up a non-essential item that you simply just want a dopamine hit for over 4 months. Because the truth is that the second that you buy whatever it is that you're buying, assuming it's more of just like a want to have, not a nice to have, the second you buy it, it starts depreciating. And I'm not even talking about the monetary value. I'm talking about mentally, it starts depreciating to you. When you buy the pair of shoes, like the first couple of days that you have them, it feels so good. It's so exciting. And then 2 weeks later, you've completely forgotten about them and you're on to like the next shiny object. But the problem is that when you use these services like Afterpay, it's like you are still paying for them months later when the excitement has completely worn off. And so that's why I'm always saying do it the other way around. Save up for them, give yourself time, make sure it's something that you really want. Perhaps the shoes will go on sale and you'll save even more. But the buy now, pay later services, it is debt. It is. So again, thank you to this person for making this comment. I know a lot of other people feel this way, so thank you.
I have no shame in using Afterpay. I really don't. I love Afterpay. It's beneficial to me. But here's the thing. These stores are getting so bold. Because tell me why I went to return something today at the store and the cashier said as loud as she possibly could, X amount being returned to your Afterpay account. Honey, they didn't need to know that. The whole store and all the 15 people behind me in line did not need to know that I purchased this through Afterpay. What are you going to tell them next? The size? What size I bought? Just feels personal. I don't know. There's no shame. There's no shame in my Afterpay game. But like, that's my business, you know?
Y'all, I'm officially done with Afterpay. I was sick last night when I had to pay all that shit back. I had to pay $700 damn to them. And I was planning on getting my car tuned up and stuff with that money. But that's my damn fault. And I think I got like another $700 to go. But it's not going to be as much this next pay period. Because I think it's like $700 left. So it might be like $250 or something that I have to pay before it's all paid off. Afterpay can be a dangerous trap. Please don't be like me, y'all. Delete that shit. And if you do it, just do one purchase at a time. But for me, for Christmas, I put everything on Afterpay. But Afterpay, if y'all watching, I'm done with y'all. I don't care how many emails and promotions that y'all send me. I am officially done. Thank y'all for watching. That was the message for the day. Stay off Afterpay because it's draining our checking accounts, y'all.
So next time you see that shiny little pay in 4 button whispering sweet nothings at checkout, pause. Because that cute little payment plan, it might just be a financial booby trap in a trench coat. What feels like a guilt-free splurge today could be tomorrow's stress snack, with a side of overdraft fees and regret. Remember, if you're buying it now and sweating it later, you didn't win the system. The system won you. For more money myths, digital debt drama, and real talk they don't teach in school, hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell like you're dodging another Afterpay alert. This is Orbit Point, where we expose the truth behind the trend and roast your favorite bad financial decisions with love. Spend smart, stay alert, and I'll see you in the next one.